Al Gore when they ran back in '92. Listen to this.
They're a new generation of Democrats, Bill Clinton and Al Gore, and they don't think the way the old Democratic Party did. They've called for an end to welfare as we know it, so welfare can be a second chance, not a way of life. And they've rejected the old tax and spend politics. Clinton's balanced 12 budgets, and they've proposed a new plan investing in people, detailing $140 billion in spending cuts they'd make right now.
Joe, I mean, it is astonishing when you think about how far the Democratic Party and what the ads look like now has come since then. So if Hillary over the top in terms of voting for President Obama again, Ed, weigh in here. I mean, we are looking at such different policies under President Obama and Hillary Clinton than we looked at under Bill Clinton.
It's a totally different time. You had the tech boom, which obviously helped him immeasurably. You had the housing boom. The reality here is she is a weak candidate. Even her best friends are worried about the candidate that she's become, and the fact that a Bernie Sanders is nipping at her heel and probably has her limping into her convention before she can even begin. The whole campaign is going to be about the economy. And if all of a sudden you say, gee, I got to get my husband in here because he did it, you're basically diminishing your own role as the President of the United States, even though presidents sometimes get too much credit and too much blame for economies that are beyond their means. But I think to a certain extent, a lot of Democrats would much rather have Bill Clinton running for a third term than Hillary, and that's not a good thing for her. I also think that at this point in time, she needs to go out and show she can run an effective campaign against Trump. She can't do that until she gets rid of Sanders. She's got a long ways to go to do that. And at this point in time, it looks like desperate politics saying, wait till my husband gets back in here. He'll fix it all.
Wait till Dad gets home.
Wait till Dad gets home.
Wait till Dad gets home.
And don't worry about the Clinton Foundation, because I got Chelsea over there. She'll run it and make sure it keeps going, and the foreign money and everything else can come in. I got both the czar and the president. Well, I don't think it works.
We raised a question in the tease that I want to see if you can answer, Joe, and that's what would he be allowed to do as a former president? Can he be vice president? Can he be put in charge of the economy and restoring it, as she says? What are the limitations?
I don't think there's any way that she would make him the vice president, even if it's doable. That's not going to happen. That's not in the cards. I think that's kind of ridiculous stretch. But I think, look, as an economic advisor, somebody who's thinking constantly about how to revitalize, particularly economies like in Kentucky and West Virginia that need to be modernized to create the jobs of the future. But Bill Clinton, you couldn't have somebody better than him working on those kinds of things. But I go back to,
Joe, let's put up this other full screen, to the policies, the specific policies that Bill Clinton implemented that did allow the economy to grow. One was cutting the capital gains tax. He took it from 28% to 21%. Her proposal is to hike it to 43%. He did welfare to work, which put time limits and benefit limits on welfare. Can you imagine how that would go over in a party that is, so popular, where Bernie Sanders is so popular? Is she going to do welfare to work?
No, these will be think about it the other way, though. There being a lot of Republicans who will look at those policies and think, hey, that's better than anything Trump's come up with. So I think I think this is we're in a different era, as Ed has pointed out, a different time. But I think the focus on jobs and job creation that Bill Clinton had, and there's no denial about that. He created more jobs than last four Republican presidents combined.
By cutting regulation, by cutting welfare, and by cutting the capital gains tax.
So if you're
I just think people need to consider if he's going to be in the mix.
Desperate candidates do desperate things, and right now she's a desperate candidate, and reaching out to her husband and talking about him being the economic czar is absurd, and I think to a certain extent is going to remind a lot of Democrats why she's not a very good candidate. We wish we had the old man back again. We don't. At the end of the day, she has to win. She has to go out and make her case against Trump, and the economy is going to be a very big factor. And if she's going to say, I got to wait for my husband to come tell me what to do, I don't think that's going to work very well.
All right, thank you.